Today, we will continue to learn an inspiration to give rise to Bodhicitta. In the following, we will present the words of enlightened beings to show that reciting the Buddha's name brings immense merit. The omniscient Mipham Rinpoche stated in his commentary on the Sutra of Recollecting the Three Jewels, "The name of the Tathagata is an inexhaustible source of immeasurable merit. The names of all Buddhas, accomplished through the inconceivable power of dharmatā, dependent arising, great vows, samādhi, and virtues, are surely the basis for benefit and happiness in the world." The Peace of the Wandering Mind says, "The names of Buddhas embody myriad qualities. When one recites the Buddha's name even once, one recites these myriad qualities in that single thought." The essential explanation of Amitabha states, "The Buddha uses his great vows as the cause for sentient beings' abundant roots of virtue, and his great practices as the condition for their abundant merit, enabling those who recite his name with faith and aspiration to achieve such merit in every thought." Amitabha Buddha uses his 48 vows as the cause for sentient beings' abundant roots of virtue, and his practice of the 6 perfections and myriad activities as the condition for their abundant merit. Amitabha accomplished his majestic name through great vows and practices, so that those who recite it with faith and aspiration achieve such merit in every thought. The name encompasses qualities, and the qualities are inconceivable. Thus, the name is also inconceivable. The merit of the name is inconceivable. Hence, even casually reciting it plants seeds of Buddhahood, while devoted recitation leads to the stage of non-regression. Even distracted recitation plants the seeds of Buddhahood. How much more so recitation with faith and aspiration, which leads to the stage of non-regression. From the above scriptural citations, we see that Amitabha's name is accomplished through his myriad qualities. When we recite his name, we can receive these qualities and directly attain the stage of non-regression. Therefore, its merit far exceeds that of ordinary generosity. The Sutra says, if one recites the Buddha's name with unwavering faith, it surpasses making offerings to all Buddhas each day with jewels, as numerous as the sands of the Ganges, filling countless worlds. Reciting the Buddha's name with steadfast faith surpasses the merit of offering jewels as numerous as the sands in the Ganges River, filling countless worlds, to all Buddhas every day. The Nirvana Sutra says, even if one makes offerings of food and clothing to all beings for a month, it cannot compare to 1/16 of the merit gained from reciting the Buddha's name. This passage discusses the merit of reciting the Buddha's name. When doing so, we must reflect on the Buddha's great vows and qualities. Without such understanding, the recitation becomes mere sound, lacking true meaning or merit. The Buddha's name encompasses all his great vows, Bodhicitta, as well as the virtues of the 6 perfections and myriad activities. How should we understand this? For example, upon hearing my name, Renze, disciples who have followed me for a long time, or those who are familiar with me, will associate it with rich meanings. But for those who have only heard the name without knowing me, it is just a label, carrying no real impact. They may know it refers to a monk, but are unaware of my specific practices and virtues. In such cases, it yields no merit. Similarly, when reciting the Buddha's name, we should understand and be familiar with his great vows, 6 perfections, myriad activities, virtues that lead to Buddhahood, countless kalpas of practice to establish the Pureland, and 18 unique qualities of a fully enlightened Buddha, qualities that Bodhisattvas don't possess. Reciting with this awareness generates immense merit. A single name contains all Bodhicitta, both conventional and ultimate. Hence, the merit produced by reciting the Buddha's name can vary greatly. Now, we will cite sutras and treatises to demonstrate that generating Bodhicitta yields immense merit. The Questions of the Householder Viradhata states, if the merit of Bodhicitta had form, it would fill the entire space and exceed it. If someone were to fill the Buddhalands with jewels as numerous as the grains of sand in the Ganges, and offer them to the protector of the world, while another joined their palms and reverently paid homage to Bodhi, the latter offering would be far superior with boundless merit. If the merit of Bodhicitta had physical form, even space could not contain it. If person A were to fill the Buddhalands with the 7 treasures, as numerous as the sands of the Ganges, and offer them to the Buddha, while person B joined his palms and pay homage to great Bodhi, then person B's offering would be more sublime, with boundless merit. Paying homage to Bodhi means revering, admiring, and honouring those who have generated Bodhicitta. The Prajnaparamita Sutra says, if a Bodhisattva gives away wealth and the 7 treasures, but does not give rise to the aspiration to attain Buddhahood and liberate all sentient beings, then even after kalpas as numerous as the sands of the Ganges, the merit gained is meagre. If a Bodhisattva dedicates the merit of giving to unsurpassed enlightenment and the liberation of all sentient beings, then even with little giving, the merit gained is immeasurable. The donation may be minimal, yet the merit is immeasurable. The Way of the Bodhisattva says, if one only wishes to heal the headache of sentient beings, with such an altruistic intention, one gains boundless merit. How much more so when one wishes to eliminate the endless suffering of sentient beings and bring them unbounded excellence. Just the altruistic intention to cure the headache of all sentient beings brings immeasurable merit. How much more so the aspiration to free all beings from endless suffering and lead them to countless qualities whose merit is vaster than space. All other virtues, like the plantain tree, produce their fruit, but then their force is spent. The tree of Bodhicitta bears fruit constantly and grows unceasingly. This hits the point exactly. All other virtuous deeds are like the plantain tree, which bears fruit once and then withers. When the result of such virtue manifests, its merit is exhausted. But the merit of generating Bodhicitta does not diminish. It grows unceasingly. This is because Bodhicitta is a supreme and limitless aspiration, increasing moment by moment. Because the merit of generating Bodhicitta is immeasurable and boundless, even the initial arising of Bodhicitta surpasses the merit cultivated by Shravakas over countless kalpas. The life of Maitreya states, "O virtuous man, even if a precious diamond breaks, it still outshines all special ornaments of gold. O virtuous man, similarly, those who have aroused the diamond-like aspiration for omniscience, even without practice, still outshine all the gold-like qualities of the Shravakas and Pratyeka Buddhas. Even a broken diamond outshines all golden adornments. Similarly, simply arousing Bodhicitta, even without practicing the 6 perfections, surpasses all the qualities attained by Shravakas. The pinnacle of the Shravaka vehicle is arhatship. Hence, we see that once Bodhicitta arises, its merit surpasses that accumulated through kalpas of Shravaka practice. Here is a story from the treatise on the great perfection of wisdom. Once upon a time, an arhat who had attained the 6 spiritual powers, including the cessation of defilements, was travelling with a novice monk. The novice walked behind him, carrying his baggage. At one point, the novice thought, "I should diligently strive for unsurpassed enlightenment." Immediately, the arhat took back the baggage and carried it himself. Soon after, the novice reconsidered. "Attaining Buddhahood takes too long and requires too much effort. I'd rather aim for the Shravaka achievements and be liberated sooner." Then the arhat placed the baggage back on the novice's shoulders and asked him to walk behind. This swap repeated multiple times. The novice alternated between generating Bodhicitta and giving it up to seek a lesser goal. The novice monk asked, "Venerable, are you confused? Why do you keep changing?" The arhat replied, "I am perfectly clear. When you aspired to Buddhahood, you became a bodhisattva, greater than me. So I should carry the baggage and walk behind. When you regressed to Shravaka motivations, no longer aspiring to liberate sentient beings, you fell below me. So you should carry the baggage and walk behind." Startled, the novice monk thenceforth diligently pursued Buddhahood with unwavering determination. In this story, when the novice monk first aroused Bodhicitta, he already surpassed the arhat with 6 spiritual powers, for that single thought transformed him into the Buddha's heir, more noble than the arhats. It is like a newborn crown prince who, even in swaddling clothes, receives homage from senior ministers. Once Bodhicitta arises, one becomes the Buddha's heir, like a crown prince, distinct from others. Even in swaddling clothes, he is the crown prince. When chanting the Buddha's name, one inherently hopes to become a Buddha. Yet, without generating the great aspiration, how effective is the recitation? When generating Bodhicitta, one initially aims to engage in dharma practice. Yet, without being reborn in the Pure Land, even after Bodhicitta arises, one can easily regress. When reciting the Buddha's name, we are essentially aspiring to achieve Buddhahood, that is, to liberate all sentient beings. Without generating Bodhicitta, what is the purpose or effect of recitation? When generating Bodhicitta, we are essentially committing to the Bodhisattva path. Yet, without being reborn in the Pure Land, even after generating Bodhicitta, we are prone to regression. This passage explains, reciting the Buddha's name must be accompanied by generating Bodhicitta. Without Bodhicitta, there are no seeds for attaining Buddhahood or rebirth in the Pure Land. This point is clearly stated. To attain rebirth in the Western Pure Land, we must recite the Buddha's name on the foundation of Bodhicitta. Without Bodhicitta, there are no seeds for attaining Buddhahood or rebirth in the Pure Land. One must strive for rebirth in the Pure Land after generating Bodhicitta. In this era, after giving rise to Bodhicitta, one must aspire for rebirth in the Pure Land. Without being reborn there, one is prone to regressing due to adverse conditions. In this degenerate age, qualified spiritual teachers are extremely rare. The reason is that before attaining the patience of non-arising, ordinary beings lack security when rescuing sentient beings from the ocean of suffering. Hence, we should first secure rebirth in the Pure Land and rely on the Buddha's blessing to attain the patience of non-arising. The treatise on rebirth states, those who wish to roam freely through the gates of hell must first be reborn in the Pure Land. Only after attaining the patience of non-arising can they return to samsara to rescue suffering beings. Bodhisattvas who wish to enter hell must first be reborn in the Pure Land. After realizing the patience of non-arising, they can return to samsara to liberate suffering beings. Master Tan Yuan said in his commentary on the treatise on rebirth, in the 3 grades of rebirth mentioned in the Amitayus Sutra, though their practices differ in excellence, all generate unsurpassed Bodhicitta. This unsurpassed Bodhicitta is the aspiration to attain Buddhahood. The aspiration to attain Buddhahood is the aspiration to liberate sentient beings. The aspiration to liberate sentient beings is the aspiration to guide beings to be reborn in the Buddha land. Therefore, those who wish to be reborn in the land of bliss must generate unsurpassed Bodhicitta. If one, without generating supreme Bodhicitta, merely hears of the unceasing bliss in that land and wishes to be reborn there for the sake of pleasure, one will not attain rebirth there. The Amitayus Sutra discusses 3 levels of rebirth. Though the practices vary in quality, none of them lacks bodhicitta. This bodhicitta is the aspiration to attain Buddhahood, the determination to liberate sentient beings, the resolve to guide beings to rebirth in the Buddhaland. Hence, those who aspire for rebirth in the Pure Land must generate bodhicitta. Without bodhicitta, if one merely hears of the eternal bliss in that land and seeks rebirth for the sake of pleasure, one will not be reborn there. Only after generating bodhicitta can one align with Buddhahood, with the Buddha's vow to lead beings to enlightenment, and with the Pure Land. The key is to align with the Pure Land. These teachings come from Master Tan Luan's commentary on the Treatise on Rebirth. He was the earliest patriarch of Chinese Pure Land Buddhism. Great masters also emphasized profound faith and fervent aspiration as essential. Though the excellence of practice varies, it only affects the level of rebirth. Master Wonhyo of Korea stated in The Essentials, "The ultimate fruition of this aspiration is Bodhi, yet its flowering is in the Pure Land." Why? Because bodhicitta is vast beyond boundaries, everlasting without an end. Hence, it results in the circumstantial reward of the boundless Pure Land and the individual reward of an infinite lifespan. Nothing but bodhicitta can accomplish this. Though the ultimate fruition of bodhicitta is Buddhahood, its flowering is rebirth in the Pure Land. Karma first blooms, then bears fruit. Its fruition stage results in Buddhahood, and its flowering stage results in rebirth in the Pure Land. Since the cause, bodhicitta, is boundless and everlasting, it leads to the circumstantial reward of the infinitely vast Pure Land and the individual reward of an immeasurably long lifespan. Apart from bodhicitta, no other approach can bring about such results. No other method can achieve such accomplishments. Here, the circumstantial reward refers to the immeasurably vast Pure Land, and the individual reward refers to an immeasurably long lifespan. Without bodhicitta, neither of these flowering effects can be attained. The ultimate fruit is perfect Buddhahood. Hence, we should earnestly cultivate bodhicitta. Many individuals recite the Buddha's name, but few cultivate bodhicitta. They may believe that by chanting the Amitaya Sutra a few times, they have generated bodhicitta. Burdened by heavy afflictions and karmic obstacles, however, they don't know how to practice. Their attention fixates on others' faults, entangled in conflicts in their workplaces, temples, or families. In such circumstances, how can they engage in Dharma practice? What result can they obtain from reciting the Buddha's name? Therefore, one must first sow the seed of Bodhi, cultivate it with the plough of chanting the Buddha's name, and the fruit of Buddhahood will naturally grow. When we board the ship of the great vows and sail into the ocean of the Pure Land, we will be reborn there. This is the 9th cause and condition for generating the body-mind. This passage is very clear. First, plant the seed of body, Bodhichitta. Then, diligently cultivate it with the plough of reciting the Buddha's name. In this way, the fruit of body naturally grows. This analogy is so clear. Just like farming, if no seeds are sown, what use is ploughing? It would be futile. Without seeds, what could possibly grow? Bodhicitta is the seed of body. First sow the seed, then cultivate, and the sprout of body will emerge, eventually bearing the fruit of enlightenment. The process is explained clearly. By boarding the ship of the Buddha's great vows and sailing into the ocean of the Pure Land, we will be reborn there. To board this ship, we must generate great vows. Without such vows, how could one be eligible to board? It would be impossible. This is the ship of the Buddha's great vows. If boarding required no vows, all beings could board it. To board this ship, we must generate the same vows as the Buddhas. Then we will be reborn in the Western Pure Land. We should have a long-term vision. Generating bodhicitta is essential not only for attaining rebirth in the Pure Land in this lifetime, but also for swiftly realizing the patience of non-arising after rebirth and liberating all sentient beings. In other words, whether we have generated bodhicitta and to what degree directly determines our eligibility for rebirth, the level of our rebirth, and the speed of our accomplishment. Therefore, we must now focus on cultivation at the causal stage. This means we should first cultivate the seed. Before speaking of cultivation, we must first give rise to the seed of body, then nurture it. Seeds rely on essential conditions such as sunlight, rich soil, fertilizer, and water. Merit is also indispensable. Merely possessing the seed of body, generating bodhicitta in aspiration, is only an empty vow. Despite having generated the aspiration, possessing the seed, you haven't nurtured it with sunlight, soil, water, and weeding. Merit is necessary. Without merit, the seed will not sprout, and you will not be eligible for rebirth in the Pure Land. Even the smallest sprout of body is necessary. A small sprout leads to a lower grade of rebirth, while a strong, well-nurtured sprout leads to a higher grade of rebirth. Of course, the fruit of body gradually grows after arriving in the Pure Land. A great cause leads to a great result. A perfect cause leads to a perfect result. A robust cause leads to a swift attainment of the result. If we diligently cultivate bodhicitta now, we will swiftly fulfill our great vows after being reborn in the Western Pure Land. For this reason, dedicating merit to rebirth in the Pure Land through Samantabhudra's aspiration prayers is crucial. It brings about inconceivable accomplishments. The chapter on Samantabhudra's practices and vows states that guided by Samantabhadra's King of Aspiration prayers, one will be instantly reborn in the Pure Land at the moment of death. Upon rebirth, one sees Amitabha Mandrushri, Samantabhadra, Avalokiteshvara, Maitreya, and others. One is born from a lotus and receives predictions of Buddhahood from the Buddha. Of course, this unfolds according to one's grade of rebirth. Then, over countless kalpas, one travels to inconceivable worlds in the 10 directions. With the power of wisdom, one benefits sentient beings according to their inclinations. Only after such extensive practice, going to immeasurable worlds in the 10 directions and using wisdom to benefit beings according to their propensities, can one achieve perfect Buddhahood. At the Vajra seat, one subdues Mara's armies, attains enlightenment, turns the wheel of Dharma, and inspires sentient beings in as many worlds as there are dust motes in Buddha lands to generate Bodhicitta. According to their capacities, one guides and matures them. Throughout all future kalpas, one continuously benefits all sentient beings. Therefore, after being reborn in the Pure Land, one still needs to cultivate for countless kalpas and liberate sentient beings throughout the 10 directions. Do not think that reaching the Pure Land is the end. It is not. It is only the beginning. Going to the Pure Land is for the sake of further cultivation. It is like entering a university. After completing one's studies, one becomes better equipped to benefit others. After arriving in the Pure Land, one at the very least attains the stage of non-regression in faith. Once faith becomes unwavering, one's practice will not regress. Even without achieving an irreversible result, when faith is firm, one will naturally begin to liberate beings throughout the 10 directions. From the result, we know the cause. To attain the result, we must cultivate the cause. If we wish to be reborn in the Pure Land and swiftly achieve enlightenment, we must now earnestly study and practice Bodhicitta and Samantabhadra's vows. Those who follow the Pure Land path should carefully listen to these teachings. They are crucial. I often emphasize this point, yet many don't take it to heart. Some misunderstand. Some rely on teachings from unclear sources, and others take passages out of context. Such situations are problematic. The teachings they hear are often inauthentic, distorted, or lack a proper Dharma lineage. It is unfortunate.